Hello everybody and welcome to America's Stadium, the Rose Bowl, here for potentially UCLA's last home football game in this very stadium. My name is David Matamoroz, joined by Shane Donovan. Shane, what do you have to make of this matchup as UCLA takes on the Huskies?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one tonight. Washington's coming in with an electric offense. This offense is high-powered, and that defense is no joke. They know how to get after the quarterback. This is going to be a very, very tough test for the Bruins tonight. The keys to the game, like against Nebraska, is going to be the O-line and the D-line. Will UCLA be able to hold up against this blitz from Washington? We'll see. But right now, Washington's offense is on the field, so let's see what this high-powered offense can do against UCLA.
Washington to start things, they'll motion a man over. Huskies 7-3, but 4-3 in Big Ten play. It's a pass, quick play here. That'll get a couple yards for the Husky. Pass quick to number 13, Audric Harris.
Yeah, great defense right there from the Bruins, just rallying to the ball. That's exactly what they need to do tonight. If they are going to stay in this game with Washington, it is all going to be on this defense to be able to limit this offense.
That was Harris's 5th reception on the year coming in this game. He had 4 receptions, only 100 yards on the season, but 90 of those yards coming off 2 receptions in their last game against Purdue. Had himself a touchdown during that game. So we get set for second down here. Washington throw this one over the middle, a wide open man. He's got the first down, pushes that out towards about the 45-yard line of UCLA.
Going to be scary hours for Washington or for the UCLA Bruin defense if they allow Williams to get out of the pocket. He is a terrific runner, and Washington wants to get him on the bootleg where he has options to throw in the run or just dump it off quick. We'll see what they're able to do here.
Fresh set of downs here. Washington, they'll keep this one on the ground, trying to move the pile, not going to go very far. That'll bring up second down here. They kept it on the ground, didn't go very far. Tried to run it with Adam Mohammed. Mohammed in his last game, 17 attempts, 59 yards, but 3 total touchdowns coming against Purdue. In that game, as a team, Washington rushed for 212 yards.
Yeah, quite a performance from the Washington Huskies that day.
2nd and 8 here, going to keep it on the ground again. They'll push the pile. That'll get them about 4, maybe 5 yards.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot out of Mohammed today with Coleman suiting up but probably not playing with that injury, trying to save him for Oregon. We'll see if the UCLA Bruins are able to keep this game close. We may see Coleman come into this game. We're already out on Boston. Boston will not be playing today for the Huskies.
Jonah Coleman, a key piece of that Huskies offense. The running back has missed some of that Wisconsin game in which he was injured, and the last game against Purdue. This one down the sideline deep, just out of reach of the intended receiver.
And that is one that Desmond Williams is going to want to have back. He had him open on the fade route. The receiver had a step, just mistimed it a little bit, and it's overthrown. Looked like he didn't have his feet set. Bad break for the Huskies.
Washington going to bring out their punting unit here. Good showing from the UCLA defense, able to keep this Washington team out of their territory. They'll let this one bounce. Looks like Washington will clock it down just a couple yards past the 15-yard line of UCLA. So what do you make of that first drive for Washington and also for this Bruin defense?
Yeah, for Washington, it's a disappointment, right? UCLA does have a pretty strong defense, but you want to see your quarterback be able to just check it down, get into a rhythm in the game. Kind of missed that open shot downfield. We see the result of that, but for the Bruins, what a showing for them coming out and just getting a stop, immediate 3 and out for this team. Let's see what Nico and the rest of the offense is able to do now.
Nico Iamaleava did not play in that last game. That was against Ohio State, the #1 ranked team in the country. UCLA coming out with the loss last week, looking to bounce things back here. Like I said, in potentially their last home game here in America Stadium, the Rose Bowl. They'll keep it on the ground here. Rush to the left. That's going to be good for a gain of about 3.
Yeah, look for UCLA to keep the ball on the ground a lot tonight. They are not scared to run the ball, even against this stout Washington defense. They want to establish that line of scrimmage and be able to control the game from there. If the Bruins are able to do that, they will be able to open up that passing game for Nico. We'll see what happens here on second down.
Nico motions a man. Rolling out to his right. Quick pass. That one's complete. Looks like it might be a loss of a yard with the forward progress. Got it just out, maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage. Not going to be much of a gain there.
Yeah, great rally by this Washington defense to immediately get on the receiver for no gain. That's exactly what Washington loves to do. They play tight with their corners. They trust these guys. They send those backers blitz. And obviously we saw what happened there with Nico being able to get outside the pocket, but great defense and an open field tackle.
That'll bring up a big 3rd and 6 here for the Bruins. Nico, he wants to throw. Going to step up in the pocket, taking off himself. He beats a man, makes a man stumble. He's got it out to the 40 and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. A big rush from Nico Iamaleava.
Just another day for the Bruins here. Nico Iamaleava getting outside the pocket and using his legs to get the first down. Just great awareness in that pocket, seeing it collapsing. He was able to hit that sideline, get a couple extra yards, and skid out of bounds without getting hit. That is the biggest thing. Nico needs to stay healthy. That concussion in Nebraska really hurt them in that Ohio State game, not having him.
Like you said, took a loss last week, 48-10 in Ohio. Nico going to throw it again, this one over the middle. They'll get that complete for 2 yards.
UCLA's having a little bit of a nice drive here, just taking what's easy, take what's coming. Against this Washington defense, they want to force you to get scared and make a mistake. For Nico to play well tonight, he needs to be able to sit in the pocket and make the correct decisions. And so far, he's made them.
This UCLA offense comes into this game 19.4 points per game on average. That's the 2nd worst in the Big Ten.
Not a great stat to hear.
Second only to Wisconsin, averaging 10 points per game, who beat this Washington team just a couple weeks ago. As this one's complete over to the left sideline and good for a Bruins first down.
One of my keys to the game coming into today was getting Anthony Woods involved. He has earned himself a bigger role in this offense with his explosiveness, and that's exactly what UCLA needs. Be able to dump it off in the flats to a running back and him be able to take it all the way to the crib. Anthony Woods here, nice little pickup to set up a first down for the Bruins in enemy territory.
For these Bruins, it's really been a kind of mix of 3 guys on the running back side of things. It's been Berger, Thomas, and Woods. They'll keep it on the ground. They'll poke that out for a gain of 1. So that'll bring up second down.
UCLA just needs to keep this defense honest. UCLA can tend to pass it a lot, which allows for the Washington defense to be able to come in with those blitzes and really disrupt Nico. Getting the ground game going is going to help everybody on this offense, and controlling the clock too, giving that defense some rest.
That was Anthony Woods on the run. It looks like he's come off the sideline though. So we get some whistles here before the play.
Could not make out what the ref said. Shout out to the Rose Bowl. But it's still second down. Second down and 9.
Yeah, like you mentioned, did not really know what the call was, but nobody moved. They'll motion a man over to the right. This one, a pass complete to the tight end over the middle. That's going to push them out about 3 yards shy of the line to gain and bring up third down.
All of these little hitches that they're throwing, these quick little throws, are setting themselves up in the second half to run the double moves. That's exactly what Jerry wants to do. Get these DBs biting, because these DBs are sitting back, playing man, and they want to jump these routes, right? They want that pick. But in the second half, they might get a little too aggressive, allowing UCLA to hit them over top.
3rd and 4 here. Nico holding on to the ball, fires this one over to the right. Quick route. Doesn't look like he got enough as the Huskies make the tackle behind the line to gain.
Now it's going to be an interesting decision here. It looks like the offense is going to stay out. They do have a great kicker in Mateen. However, it looks like the UCLA offense is going to stay out there for now. It's going to be about 4th and 5 for the Bruins. This is a big, big play for momentum here early in the first quarter. If UCLA is able to convert this and keep able to run on this clock, it's going to take a lot of morale away from the Washington Huskies.
UCLA 15 for 26 on 4th down conversions. That's about a 58% conversion rate. Nico going to get it done through the air. Not going to be complete. Batted away by the defender. The Huskies come up with a 4th down stop on the Bruins.
Just a terrific break on the ball. It looked like he might have gotten there a little bit early, but he timed it just right to punch that ball out as soon as it got there. It's going to be Washington Huskies ball, 1st and 10 here early in the first.
Looked like it was Mikel Esteen on the pass breakup for Washington. And Washington going to take control here at about the 37-yard line. Actually, ball going to be on the 32 as both teams huddled up here getting ready for Washington's next drive. What did you like on that drive from UCLA? How does it differ from things that they've gotten wrong in the past?
Yeah, UCLA wasn't afraid to run the ball, and that's what Skipper said he was going to do. Even against Ohio State, when they were down by 40 points, they were still running the ball. They're still running that rock, and that's exactly what UCLA wants to do. They want to be able to take the pressure off of Nico, allow him to play football. Like I said, you do not want to think as a quarterback, you want to react. Allow him to react to what the defense is giving him. Like I said, throwing these little dump-off passes is going to entice these DBs to pressure up and allow for those double moves to be seen later on in this game. If you're the Huskies, you have to bring pressure on Nico. You want to force him to make a mistake because you trust these DBs. These DBs have been balling out all season long against, to be quite frankly, much better offenses. UCLA needs to establish this run game to be able to control this game. And on this first drive, it was looking pretty good until it stalled out there. We'll see what the Washington Huskies are able to do now coming back on offense as after a very lackluster first possession.
Yeah, something very interesting I noticed in this game so far. Nico has been throwing the ball a lot early in that game against Nebraska. We didn't really see that. We saw a lot of rushing, him holding onto the ball, and then, eventually maybe taking it, but they weren't really getting the ball through the air that much during that Nebraska game. It's really interesting to see them really using that pass today early.
Exactly. We saw a couple critical 4th down conversions that didn't happen for UCLA in that Nebraska game. Couple on Nico's fault, actually, by taking the ball when he should have handed it off to the running back. Here, probably could have gotten the ball a little bit quicker to his receiver, but even so, I think his receiver would have been short of the line to gain either way. It would have been close, but it was just a terrific pass breakup by the Washington Huskies, and that is why they are now 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
So we get set for 1st down here for Washington. On that last drive, Nico 5 for 6 on his passes, 21 yards through the air. He also took it for 26 yards using his legs, got that big 1st down for the Bruins. We get set as the Huskies break up towards the line. Quick snap here. They're going to keep it on the ground. Makes a man miss. That's going to be good for a Huskies 1st down, a big rush.
Yeah, that was a great move in the open field right there from the running back. And not a terrific tackle right there. He was able to juke out that defender, get a couple extra yards. Great start for this Washington Huskies offense.
UCLA allowing 194.2 rushing yards per game. That's the 2nd most in the Big Ten. So it looks like we're going to get another rush here from the Huskies, and that one out looks to be close to that 1st down. We'll see where they mark this. Again, they kept the ball with Muhammad.
Yeah, this offensive line for the Huskies has battled through injuries, but nonetheless, they have played very, very well this season. and they have established the running game early in a lot of games. That's exactly what Washington needs to do. Get this play action going for Williams and let him be the quarterback that he is.
How about 3? A rush there, but UCLA able to sniff that one out. Good job on second down of getting behind the line of scrimmage, and looks like they're not going to get any gain on that play.
This is going to be an interesting play call right here. It looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 2 for Washington. Look for something quick in the flats if they decide to pass it. If not, if I'm the Washington Huskies, I'm pounding this ball for that first down.
5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Big 3rd and 2nd. They are going to keep it on the ground, and it looks like it's going to get stopped by the UCLA defense. We'll see where they mark this, though. He might have tackled him and tossed him over the line behind him.
It's going to be close, but just terrific penetration by Keanu Williams of UCLA to get in there. It looks as if he's going to be just short.
We're taking a look at this right now. The tackle by Williams sort of let him run into Williams, and then Williams kind of flipped him almost like a suplex backwards and might have been over the line.
It looked pretty
cool.
cool.
The chains right now.
Ah, the chains. It feels good to see chains out there, the chain gang.
That looks like a first down to me. We'll see. And it is a first down for the Huskies.
Just a great play by UCLA, but flinging him forward might not have been the best call. It looked super good. But obviously, it's going to be a first down for the Washington Huskies, which is not what you want as the UCLA Bruin defense.
Keanu Williams, the senior defensive tackle.
They're going to go to an official review, it looks like. But from what we saw, it looked as if it is going to be a Washington Huskies first down. It is very, 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 very close. And in these cases, when it's close, you go with the call on the field, and that's the first down.
Yeah, Keanu Williams, the senior defensive tackle for UCLA, did a good job of penetrating that line and meeting the running back early. Just the tackle kind of forced him to suplex him backwards, like we said, over the line to gain.
Yeah, and credit Muhammad for driving his legs, because that's ultimately what forced him to go forward on that play. He was able to hit him with just enough power to where Williams had to fling him forward, give him the first down, most likely. We'll see here. We'll check it. But it's most likely going to be a first down. And nonetheless, even if it is a first down for Washington, this is a terrific showing from this interior D-line of the Bruins. This is exactly what you want to see as a Bruin fan, immediate penetration against a stout offensive line. Now, Washington is missing their center, their starting center right now. So something to keep an eye on is going to be that exchange from center to quarterback. They had a couple miscues the past couple weeks with snaps going over the head, snaps being late. That could affect the timing for Williams and the rest of the offense. So we'll keep a close eye on that as we go throughout tonight. They're still looking at this play.
So far on this drive, Washington has run 4 plays. They've gained 23 yards, all of those being rushing, as we get a call here from the official. Looks like the call on the field is going to be upheld. Washington will get a fresh set of downs, and the Bruin defense is back out onto the field.
It's the right call to make there for the referees. When it's too close, just go with the call on the field and let them play.
Huskies back up to the line. Like we mentioned, 194.2 rushing yards allowed per game for this Bruin defense. Also 32.4 points per game allowed by this defense, worst in the Big Ten. A lot of time here in the pocket for Williams. Going to roll out to his left. He's got lots of room. He's going to keep it himself, but not going to go very far. Kind of held on to that ball maybe a little bit too long. Had a lot of grasp, but those defenders just came in and closed up on him.
Yeah, terrific defense from the Bruins here. Just playing some man coverage. Really wasn't allowing anything to be open for Williams, forcing him outside the pocket and forcing him to his left. That's also very important. It's very hard to throw as a quarterback throwing left accurately. So they were able to rally up, get him out of bounds, around 2nd and 9.
Second down here. Huskies rolling out to his right. Williams, quick pass to the running back. That one just going to be shy of the first down, but a good gain nonetheless.
Yeah, it's going to be a big 3rd down here for Washington and the Bruin defense, actually, as well. The Washington Huskies are not opposed to trying to run a little clock here, establishing this run game. But on 3rd and 3, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run this ball with Mohammed. He's running great tonight. Allow him to get downfield and allow your offensive line to gain a little confidence right now.
Mohammed, 28 yards on the night. Looks like they will run it, and that's going to get blown up. UCLA defense comes up with a huge stop on the run.
What a play by this entire interior D-line of Washington. UCLA. They were not fooled once and got in there quickly. Terrific play from the Bruins to force a 4th and long here in their own territory.
4th and long here for the Huskies. And I don't see a kicking or a punting unit on the field. It looks like they're going to go for this. 4th and 6 here.
Trying to draw them off sides here. And it looks like we got a delay of game here out of the Huskies, just trying to draw them off sides. UCLA did not fall for that, and the punting unit will now come out for the Huskies. A little bit of a strategic move here also to give the punter a little more room to get this punt inside, hopefully the 10-yard line for them.
Good job of that Bruin defense, able to stay disciplined. Saw a little bit of movement, not quite enough to get the jump totally past the line of scrimmage. It's the punt team on for the Huskies. Fair catch signal. That one's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. That's going to be good for the Bruins. That'll push them out as they get set for their 2nd offensive drive of the game.
Yeah, it's been a defensive matchup here early. Couple 4th down stops from these teams have led to a 0-0 score as we near the end of the first quarter. Just a terrific job out of this Bruin defense so far. I've been pleasantly surprised with the way that this D-line has played. They're down a couple guys, but these guys are stepping up against a stout Washington offensive line. And that's exactly what they need to do to be able to stay in this game with a team that was ranked top 25 just a couple of weeks ago. With a surprise loss to Wisconsin, dropped them back out of the top 25. But this is a very good team. They were underrated for most of the season, played a lot of good teams and won, kept it close with Ohio State in that first half, which we all know Ohio State is the #1 team in the country for a reason. That team is nasty. But Washington is a very, very underrated team. So this is a team that you don't want to take lightly, and UCLA hasn't. They have played terrific tonight, and I'm excited to see what Nico and the rest of the offense is able to do here on this drive.
Yeah, not to mention last week, no Nico. They started Luke Duncan, their redshirt freshman out of Miramonte High School. In that game, he completed 69% of his passes, threw for 154 yards. Had 1 touchdown, just wasn't enough to overcome the Buckeyes. Next week, it'll be USC in the Coliseum for the Bruins. And actually, just a little fact, UCLA, before playing in the Rose Bowl, used to share the Coliseum with USC.
Wow. The more you know, am I right?
Kind of interesting seeing as what's going on nowadays with the whole stadium situation.
We'll see if this is the last game here played at the Rose Bowl, with the possible move to SoFi Stadium where they would be sharing with the Los Angeles Chargers and the Los Angeles Rams. We'll see what ends up happening on that front. But for now, we are in one of the most beautiful stadiums ever created, the Rose Bowl, one of the most historic venues. It's just beautiful here, isn't it?
It's amazing. In the shadows of the San Gabriel Mountains. Just a beautiful placement in Southern California. Talked to a lot of people before the game about their thoughts on the whole move. Some mixed opinions. Some students like SoFi because it's closer, a lot like the history here at the Rose Bowl. So going to be interesting to see where this program goes next season.
For sure, definitely would be a change-up for the Bruins. And speaking of change-ups, let's see if the UCLA offense can change things up here a little bit and score a touchdown and get up early in this game.
Score still 0-0, 2 minutes, 8 seconds remain in the first quarter. Both of these teams have 51 total yards so far. Washington on 2 offensive drives, UCLA on their second right now. Nico, quick pass over to the right, making a man miss. Still on his feet, looks like he lost the football. That's a fumble. It looks like it's going to be Husky recovery.
What a play by this Washington defense. Looks like it was Rayshawn Clark who was able to punch it out. What a great play from the DB to be able to get his hand in there and punch this football out and give the Washington Huskies the ball inside the 20-yard line.
Unfortunate for the Bruins there. The pass was complete to Mikey Matthews. Was trying to evade defenders, made one miss, then had that ball just pop out of his arms. And the Huskies going to take over in the red zone.
If you're a UCLA, that is not what you can have happen. You need to play a clean game against a team like Washington. Mistakes like that are why you lose the game. Putting your defense in a tough situation here in the red zone.
And the turnovers have been an issue for this UCLA team. Williams Jr. going to the right, completes that pass. That's good for a gain of about 3 yards before heading out of bounds. Quick pass there from the Huskies.
Yeah, as a defense, UCLA, you get that big stop, you get the ball back to your offense, and then you have to go immediately back on the field. I'll tell you what, that is not a good feeling as a player. The biggest thing is that the leaders on this team need to rally this group together. This game is still early. It's still the first quarter. It's still 0-0. They could stop them right here for a field goal. We'll see what happens. But you need to keep your players in check.
Williams standing in the pocket, going to fire over the middle. That's not complete. A little bit low, intended for his receiver.
Yeah, that's one he's going to want to have back. He had a lot of time there looking for the freshman, Desmond Roebuck. Desmond Roebuck has played exceptionally well for a freshman this season, not even just as a freshman, but as a receiver. Williams is going to look at film and be so mad when he sees how open he was. He had plenty of time in the pocket. His feet are getting a little jittery. That's something to keep an eye on. He needs to stay disciplined with his feet.
Roebuck, really the wide receiver one of this game with no Denzel Boston. 32 receptions coming into this game. This one, floater toward the end zone, not going to be complete. Just looked to be through the hands of the receiver. A good stop there by the Bruins.
Yeah, Audric Harris had a step on him. And Williams, again, just overthrew him a little bit of a flayed route from that slot. DB played it amazing, tight coverage. Forces a 4th down and a field goal attempt for Washington. This Bruin defense has really surprised me tonight, playing exceptionally well against this offense from Washington.
It was Scooter Jackson in coverage on Harris, and that's going to bring out the field goal unit. Grady Gross on for the kick. This one up. That one's going to be good. Washington first on the board, 3-0 with the field goal there, but a good job of playing some defense by the Bruins when they really needed it most.
Yeah, all things considered, that's the best case scenario if you're a Bruin fan. Fumbles like that, you don't want to have happen, but that was a terrific defensive play from Washington to punch that ball out. It's going to be a wake-up call for this UCLA offense to hold on to that ball. And shout out to this UCLA defense. Just a terrific stop for them in the red zone. You wonder, is Jonah Coleman going to be getting some playing time now with the lack of production from this Washington offense? We'll see what the coaches decide to do, whether or not they want to rest him or whether or not they need a little bit of that spark. Because Williams is a great quarterback. This is a Heisman contender next year. I'm telling you right now, this kid is special. But he's not settled into this game whatsoever. This running game, though it's getting going a little bit, doesn't have that spark that they're looking for. So if Williams is able to get his feet set, get that running game going, get on the bootleg, get some dump offs in the flats, we'll be able to see this Washington offense really come to life. And if you're UCLA, as a defensive unit, playing terrific. Proud of your guys. Like I said, this is the same defense. UCLA runs the same defense that Wisconsin runs. This 4-3 defense. And Washington's had problems with it throughout the entire year. We'll see what their adjustments are going to be. But right now, it is 3-0 with about 1:10 left in this first quarter.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Williams Jr., 5th in passing yards coming into this game in the Big Ten. And a lot of those guys that were above him have already played their games today. So we'll see where he is at the end of tonight. So far, 4 for 7, 28 yards passing, completing 57% of his passes tonight.
4 for 7 doesn't sound bad, but then when you look at the passes that he could have had, that he could have made, those 2 fade routes are going to haunt this Husky offense. Right now, looking at their tablets, they're going to want those ones back.
Yeah, if both of those throws are just a little bit more online, those could have been 2 potential touchdowns. One was in the end zone. The other one, he had room to get to the end zone. Both teams coming back onto the field now. It'll be Washington to kick off to UCLA after the field goal from the leg of Grady Gross. Grady Gross made headlines a couple years ago back, I believe in 2023 or 2024. He made a game-winning field goal, I believe in the Apple Bowl against Washington State.
I believe it was.
Made that field goal, earned scholarship. I remember seeing the locker room footage. He earned his scholarship on this team. And then in 2024, the Huskies had that big run to the national championship game led by Michael Penix Jr., Heisman finalist during that year. Ultimately came up short against John Harbaugh's Michigan.
Exactly. And now Harbaugh's here in LA, coaching the Chargers. But yeah, a lot of these seniors for Washington were on that championship team. A lot of the younger guys, like Denzel Boston was a young guy on that team being trained by like Rome Odunze, receivers like that. These high caliber guys who are producing in the NFL that have really taken a leadership role now for this Washington Huskies team.
Although they have had a coaching change since then. Jed Fish in his 2nd season, he was previously coaching with Arizona, but he's no stranger to Los Angeles. Here's a rush up the middle. Going to be good for a gain of about 3 yards by the Huskies. Jed Fish, the head coach for the Huskies in 2017, started the year out as the offensive coordinator for the Bruins for the first 11 games before becoming the interim head coach after the program decided to split ways with Jim Mora. Second and 7 here. Nico dropping back to pass. Another quick pass. This one complete. Going to be good for about a yard or 2.
Like I said, if you're UCLA, these little dump-off passes are going to be your friend. Take what the defense gives you. Do not force anything if you are Nico. But at some point, you need to get a little production from this offense. We'll see what Jerry's able to draw up here to get some receivers open for Nico to be able to throw to here on 3rd and 5.
Big 3rd down here. Looks like there was a jump by the Huskies. Not going to be any call. We'll actually get a late whistle. That'll be the end of the first quarter. I thought maybe they were going to take that offsides. It looked like a Husky defender maybe got close.
Yeah, it was a little close if you ask me, but obviously we're up here in the booth and not reffing, so that's something to be said there. But if you're UCLA, keeping this game 3-0 going into the second quarter, you can't ask for much more. This defense has played amazing. The only points that came off of the board or got on the board for Washington was off of a turnover. That's exactly where you want to be as a Bruin. We'll see what the Bruins are able to do here entering into the second quarter with the ball on their own territory.
Looking at the stats from the first half, Washington 53 total yards, UCLA 57. Similar in passing, 28 for Washington, 24 for UCLA, but UCLA 33 yards on the ground to Washington's 25. What do you think UCLA is going to look to do or should do here as they try to punch it into the end zone, try to capitalize on this drive?
The big key to UCLA's offense throughout the season has been Nico's legs. As much as you hate to see Nico running, because if you're scared of a concussion happening like it did in Nebraska, you're scared of your quarterback being hurt, but you paid this man for a reason. This guy is a baller. Allow Nico to get outside the pocket, play action, get him on that bootleg. And we'll be able to see if UCLA is able to get some production here on this 3rd and 5. Look for a flood concept, a levels concept, something to get this this Washington Huskies defense thinking. Now, if you're Washington, you are bringing this blitz. Think of stunts. Washington loves their stunts with their defensive line. Watch for a stunt here. And that QB spy, they love to run that spy, which playing against a quarterback like Nico, you need to have a QB spy.
About a minute and 50 seconds here till the beginning of the 2nd quarter. It's worth mentioning tonight, senior night for the Bruins here. During their last home game of the season.
As a senior, your final game here at the Rose Bowl. It's special to see those players walk with their families, get the bouquets, really just take the Rose Bowl in one last time, and maybe one final time as a program. Who knows if UCLA will be here next year in the Rose Bowl. But like we said, this is quite a venue to be playing in.
UCLA has been playing in Pasadena since 1982. A lot of the people I spoke to before the game outside of the stadium mentioned they've been here since then. They've been here since UCLA's been playing here. You know, it's going to be a tough loss for a lot of those fans.
Yeah, I've not been here that long. I was born in 2005, so that was a little bit before my time, if you ask me. But one of the best environments in all of college football, the Rose Bowl. It's beautiful. But let's get back to this game. A 3rd and 5. If UCLA is able to convert here, it's going to be a huge momentum shift in their favor. Washington's defense has played all right up to this point, but it's not up to their standard. They're going up against a team in UCLA that has struggled throughout the season. And if you're on the Washington defense, you're wanting to make that big play. They already had that play where they were able to punch it out. Let's see if they can go make another one right here on 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 here. Ball on the 30-yard line. UCLA still haven't broken out of their huddle yet. Huskies already in formation on defense. Bruins back up to the line. So we get set for the start of the 2nd quarter.
Watch the blitz here from the nickel.
Nico lines up without a back. Scanning the field. Finally decides to pull this one over the middle and out of the hands of his receiver. Landed in his chest and just popped out of the hands of Mokiao Atimalala.
Wow, you are not going to get a better throw than that. Threading the needle just out over the outstretched arms of the Washington defender. Nico puts the ball in the right spot, right on the receiver's shoulder. Wasn't able to bring it in. That is a terrible break for the Bruin offense.
It'll be the punt unit on for UCLA after the dropped pass. After the great throw by Nico.
If he catches that, he's going to the end zone.
Here's the punt. This one caught down at about the 35-yard line of Washington.
A little bit of a low punt there. Kind of just a line drive, to be honest there. Kind of spooked the returner a little bit. He had to dive for that one. Impressive play by him to get underneath it still, but not the best punt if you are the Bruins. The Washington offense will now start here at the 35-yard line.
14 minutes, 48 seconds here left to go in the first half. Hopefully this Bruins defense can stick to what they've been doing throughout this game. They were given a tough situation on the last drive with the fumble recovery by Washington in the red zone, able to hold the Huskies to just 3 points. We'll see what they can do here as both teams back up, ready for the drive. Washington going to run the ball here, poking it out, fighting for extra yards. They'll get this one out to the 40 for about a gain of 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got through there. It looked like he just squirted straight through the offensive line, bounced off a couple of guys, and just kept his feet moving. And you can't really ask anything more out of your running back to get 5 yards out of that play. It was great penetration by the UCLA defensive line once again, but Muhammad was able just to squeeze his way through somehow and pick up 5 yards. Great play.
Muhammad so far has been the only running back Washington has used. They motion him over to a receiver position, then motion him back. Washington, they're going to throw it. Williams Jr. fires this one, and that's complete. He looked like he might have bobbled it for a second, able to regain control. And that's a Washington first down. A nice grab by Omari Evans.
We had a design rub down the field, 2 crossing routes where the receiver was able to bump the DB just a bit, opening up the other receiver, allowing for the first down.
Going to throw it again here. Williams Jr. fires deep, and just too far for his receiver. Would have been a great completion if he were to get that. It was down there by the 10-yard line and just out of reach.
Again, he misses Audric Harris downfield, wide open, just a busted coverage from this UCLA Bruin defense. Williams had him wide open, overthought it, and missed him again.
You know, it could be times like this when they're missing a receiver like Boston, maybe a little faster, a little longer.
Yeah, you're missing that connection there that you have.
This time they'll run it, wide open lane, pushing it out, got the first down. Good rush here by the Huskies. Adam Mohammed sticking with him so far throughout the night.
It looks like we're getting no huddle here out of this Washington offense. Quick on the line. Washington, or the UCLA defense tackling a little bit high there, and that's not going to take Muhammad down.
Looks like they're going to rule this behind the first down. Third and extremely short. They'll push this one out on a run play. Looks like they'll get it that time. Again, Mohammed sticking with him. And he's able to get that first down that he barely missed.
Yeah, it was about like 3rd down and an inch, if that. Great job getting on the ball quickly and getting that first down for the Huskies.
It was 3rd down and an inch, and it looked like they only got about an inch. They'll move up, but nonetheless, a fresh set of downs here. 1st and 10 at the 35 of UCLA.
We'll see if UCLA decides to bring a little pressure here. Looks like the DB's playing outside shade, so looking at zone coverage possibly.
Williams Jr. got that one complete to Evans over the middle. Tackles made after a gain of about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, Washington's offensive coordinator is recognizing the amount of man that UCLA is running right now and is purposely running these rub routes, causing the DBs to run into each other and allowing for these receivers to open up little pockets of windows where Williams can get the ball in. Terrific play calling from this offensive coordinator.
Jimmy Doherty, the second season offensive coordinator for the Huskies. 2017 to 2020 was the receivers coach for UCLA. Here's another run play. This one out. Looks close to the line to gain. We'll see where they mark this.
It looks like it got there. Can't really. Yeah, they're giving it to him. It's a first down. 1st down and 10. Yep, 1st down and 10 for the Washington Huskies. Just dominating the line of scrimmage right now. If you're UCLA's defense, you're tired. Washington has controlled this ball on the ground. And that's exactly what they need to do to establish control of the game.
Bruins defense definitely slowing down. We're going to get a sub here. Looks like maybe a timeout as well. Looks like we are going to get looks like a timeout taken by the Huskies. So we'll get 2 minutes of stoppage here. Shane, what do you think UCLA needs to do? Again, they're in this predicament here with the Huskies in the striking zone, in the striking range of the end zone.
Well, as a defense, UCLA needs to play aggressive, needs to load the box. You got to be able to trust your DBs. These are very talented receivers, but they are missing their big guy, Denzel Boston. And we've already seen that the lack of production and timing with these other receivers has greatly affected Williams being able to hit them downfield. So we already know that these DBs need to play aggressive, play man coverage, allow for their defensive line and those linebackers to really fill in and stop Muhammad, force Washington to have to throw the ball. That is exactly what they need to do to stay in this game and allow your DBs to ball out. These DBs, though the defense has not played amazing, these DBs have played great this season. Allow them to do what they do best, playing aggressive defense.
Yeah, Scooter Jackson had some great coverage earlier on the other side of the field. Roderick Pleasant, the cornerback for UCLA, the redshirt sophomore, 7 pass deflections on the season. That's good for tied second in the Big Ten. John Vaughns, the middle linebacker, 56 assists, 41 tackles. Those 56 assists are good for the most in the Big Ten. You know, this defense,
yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on these linebackers to fill the right gaps, to read their eyes. These linebackers have a lot of pressure on them this game. They've played all right up to this point in the game, but Washington's driving here. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line going into UCLA's red zone. We'll see what they're able to do here. But if you're a Washington Huskies fan, you got to be pretty proud of the way that your offense has played this drive. Previously, but this drive they looked amazing.
Both teams back out onto the field after the timeout by the Huskies. Washington looking to knock this one into the end zone. Bruins trying to come up with another red zone stop.
This is going to be a big series right here, a couple of plays right here for this Bruin defense. If they're able to get a stop here, force them to a field goal, 6-0, you can't really ask for much more out of this defense. This UCLA offense needs to start getting some production next drive. They need to come out and score.
Here's the snap to Williams Jr. Looks like he's going to keep it himself. Up the middle, that's good. Got the first down, has a wide open lane. Touchdown, Washington.
Scary hours if you are a Bruin defense when you see Desmond Williams running with the ball. This guy is fast. One thing to note, the referees missed a holding call by the receiver downfield. Not saying that that's the reason why they scored, but Williams nonetheless, great keep. It was a read RPO, terrific play by the potential Heisman candidate next year.
That's Williams Jr.'s 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Here's the kick. Extra point is good for the Huskies. That'll push their lead 10-0 after the sensational keeper by Williams Jr. having a great season, like you said. And, man, just beat the defense on that one.
Yeah, this kid's fast, let me tell you. He's a terrific quarterback when he gets into a rhythm. On this drive, they took a lot of the pressure off of him, allowing him to complete the easy passes. And then also use your legs. As a quarterback, if you're able just to get some momentum on your side, use those legs. Obviously, it just worked out in their favor of scoring a touchdown. But they just wanted to be able to get him into the rhythm of the game, and they did exactly that. Now it is 10-0 for the Huskies. If you are UCLA as an offense, this is a very, very important drive for the rest of the game. You cannot allow yourselves to get into the mindset that you are down by a lot. You are only down by 10. It is only a 2-possession game. It is early here in the second quarter. UCLA is not out of this. Do not deviate from the script. Get that ball on the ground, establish the running game, which will allow Nico to find those open receivers deep, which he did. The receivers just got to make the play.
Yeah, Nico so far 7 for 9, 24 yards through the air. Also, the team's leading rusher tonight, 26 yards with his legs on only one attempt. Had one attempt for 26 yards. Gonna need to come up big here on this drive. What does it mean for this team if they don't score on this drive or even for the rest of the half?
Your defense is playing pretty well up to this point. Obviously, that last drive was not what you want to see out of this defense. It'll be interesting to see how the defense responds if UCLA is not able to score on this drive. But as an offense, you want to be able to give your defense a little bit of a gift, right? They've been on this field a lot tonight, allowing them to take a break, rest a little bit, give some confidence in them, and we'll see what they're able to do here early here in the second quarter. That's the thing. It is early in the second quarter. If they're not able to score here, like I said, only a 2-possession game. You hold them to the field goal, still a 2-possession game. That opening stop where they were able to stop them early in the red zone to force that field goal is huge for the rest of this game.
Kicking and receiving units on the field for Washington and UCLA. Washington getting set to kick things off. (10 minutes, 58 seconds left to go here in the first half. Washington, the kick is up. They'll let this one land in the back of the end zone for a touchback. It's a good starting field position for Nico. What do you expect to see in this drive? Anything in particular?
Like I said, you just want to keep this ball on the ground as much as you can. If you're able to take the will out of a defense, it will instill so much confidence into the rest of this team and demoralize the Washington Huskies. We'll see what they decide to do here, but the worst thing that they could do is go 3 and out here.
Nico takes the snap, gonna hold it, passes it, that's gonna get batted, and luckily not intercepted by Washington.
I don't love the play call here. They did want to get Nico out, rolling out to his right with a flood concept. Washington was not fooled sitting back. The box was pretty light. I would have loved to see UCLA start this drive off with a nice couple of yards here. That's all you need, 3 yards. We'll get you a first down eventually.
2nd and 10 here, ball on the 25. Nico gonna hand this one off. That's a good rush. Has the first down and a couple extra yards. Big rush there, looked like Anthony Woods.
Yeah, great run there from the Bruins. Able to pick up the first down.
Actually was not Anthony Woods, looked like it was Jalen Berger. Quick pass here over to the side. That one's just gonna get blown up by the Huskies defense. A great tackle on the screen pass by Rashawn Clark, playing in that nickel cornerback position.
Yeah, just a great play out of Washington's defense there to be able to get that stop, forcing a 2nd and long. This is not where you want to be as a UCLA offense.
Good tackle for loss by Washington. Both of these teams at the bottom of the Big Ten in tackles for loss. Quick pass over the middle. They'll get that one out to about the 45-yard line. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 4.
So they're able to pick up a couple yards here. You wonder, is UCLA going to run the ball here to make it a 4th and short, possibly pick up the first down, trick out this Washington defensive line? We'll see here. But when you enter around the 45-yard line on either end of the field, 4th downs are very common in today's game.
Nico lines up with the back to his left. Nico, he's going to want to throw here. Stepping up in the pocket. Looks like he got the first down with his legs, but he fumbled. The ball popped out We'll see who ends up with the ball after they get the players out of a pile.
Oh,
Huskies signaling like it's theirs.
he was going to have the first down too. And it's Washington football. Just a terrific play from this defense. It was number 41, Deshaun Lynch, who was able to just grab the leg of Nico, who wasn't holding onto the ball very tightly. I don't even think he got a hand on the ball. He didn't, and it was just Nico getting hit that jarred it loose.
Second fumble of the game for these Bruins. And that one could not have come at a worse time. Nico already on the season. That's his 5th fumble, I believe.
Wow, those are Justin Fields numbers right there. But not what you want to see out of the UCLA offense, who was having driving a little bit. They had a little bit of production there. It looked pretty good, but tough break for this UCLA team, forcing the defense to go out there yet again against this Husky offense. And asking them to stop this Husky offense time and time again is a tall task.
And if Nico holds on to that ball, I mean, that's a first down for sure.
It sure would have been close. I think he would have had it. I thought he was going to get sacked at first. Somehow he was able to make it past the line of scrimmage. And I thought he was home free and clear. But just a terrific play out of this Washington defense, not giving up. Just a relentless pursuit that led to these turnovers.
1 minute, 44 seconds left on the timeout clock. 10-0. Washington ball now after the fumble by Nico Iamaleava. Besides the fumble, I mean, Nico has been having a pretty okay game. 9 for 12, 30 yards through the air. He's also the leading rusher with 26 yards. Just unfortunate, just came at a really bad time for these Bruins.
Yeah, like I said earlier, these turnovers, if you're a UCLA, these are big no-nos as a team going up against a high-powered and skilled team in Washington. Like I said, this was a top 25 team. This was a very, very, very good team and still is a very good team. You cannot be losing in the turnover battle and still win a football game. They're lucky it's only 10-0. It really should be 21-0 right now.
These Huskies in search of potentially playing in a bowl game. The Holiday Bowl potentially, maybe the LA Bowl against San Diego State. Not too sure where they'll end up.
We'll see what bowl game they end up trying to get into. I believe to get into the LA Bowl, they need to win tonight's matchup against LA, which would set them up to play potentially San Diego State in that LA Bowl, which San Diego State has been a very impressive team up to this point in the season, and their head coach has been a hot commodity, it seems like, on a potential big hire from other schools. We'll see what he decides to do, but obviously, speaking of coaching hires, Jedd Fisch has been in talks, possibly moving on, but on a recent Washington Barstool Instagram comment, his wife assured all Washington fans that they have no plans on moving, that they are staying, and if they were potentially moving, she'd have a bunch of spreadsheets, which she doesn't. So, looks like he's pretty locked in here in Washington.
Both teams back out onto the field. Huskies with the ball after the fumble by Nico Iamaleava on the run. Williams Jr. dropping way back, steps up, fires this one down the field to the end zone. Incomplete, great coverage, except there's going to be 2 flags on the field.
Yeah, he got there early. He realized he was beat, didn't look up for that ball, and he just ran straight into the receiver. It's an easy call for the refs. If he doesn't do that, looks as if it would have been a touchdown. No, he just got there a little bit early. As a UCLA defense, you don't hate the aggressiveness. You don't. You don't hate him looking for the ball and playing it, but you just can't get there that early. A little bit of an underthrown ball caused the pass interference.
Wasn't an egregious pass interference, but definitely a shove there before. As the Huskies going to keep it with Williams Jr. towards the sideline. He's going to get ran out of bounds after a pickup of about 2 yards.
Like I said, great rallying defense for the Bruins. That's exactly what they need to do tonight. Contain Williams. How do you do that? You bring the pressure. You bring different stunts. You confuse him and force him to step up in this pocket or get outside the pocket. And from there, rally. They've done a good job of that tonight so far, except for that one touchdown that they were able to run in.
2nd and 8. Williams Jr., a quick pass over to the left. That's going to be brought down after a gain of about 3 yards. A great tackle by the Bruins defense.
Yeah, just a great read. We had a wide receiver screen here at the top. O-lineman getting out. And that, you know, these big boys love it when they get the opportunity to get out and going and running, and especially when they get to go against DBs. It's their favorite thing to do. But UCLA's defense was not fooled, and they were able to quickly get out there. As it looks as though we have a hurt Washington player. So number 50, Carver Willis, is down for the Huskies on one knee. Doesn't seem too serious as he just got up and is now walking off the field. You love to see that, getting up and being able to walk on his own power. Looks like he has a little bit of a limp. So something to keep an eye on there for the Huskies that are already down a few O-linemen.
Yeah, the O-line of the Huskies has been a little bit tattered so far during this season as he walks off. They've had some trouble at center. So far, no issues tonight.
And now that it's about 3rd and 6, it appears to be. Look for UCLA to bring some pressure. You do not want to give Williams the confidence to sit back there and allow him to set his feet. He has been missing throws because his feet have not been set. He has been jittery, and that's exactly what you want out of him if you are the Bruins. Bring some pressure in his face. Trust those DBs who have been playing well tonight. And we'll see if they're able to force another field goal attempt here, keeping it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, so far the defense for the Bruins has not been great at bringing pressure and succeeding. Only 7 sacks so far on the season. And like I mentioned, dead last in the Big Ten in tackles for loss. So hopefully they can make a change here tonight.
Yeah, not a pretty stat you want to hear, but they played pretty well up to this point. And you wonder, is it due to the large attendance that are here tonight? You look around the Rose Bowl, and this is the most filled I've seen it in a while. A great showing out of the Bruin fans tonight, it seems, for potentially the last game here at the Rose Bowl.
Here at the Rose Bowl, not a bad seat in the house. You can pretty much see the field from wherever you are. As we get set for both teams to come back from this injury timeout. 10-0 your score here. Washington with the ball. 7 minutes, 52 seconds remain here in the second half. We'll see what the Huskies can do as they encroach on the red zone.
Yeah, if the Huskies are able to go up 17-0, it's a tall task to be able to come back from that. It's not over till it's over, obviously. But this is going to be a crucial 3rd down play right here. Holding them to a field goal, keeping it a 2-possession game is exactly what you need if you are a Bruin fan out of your defense. And the defense has played well up to this point. We'll see what the defensive call is for the Bruins.
UCLA currently riding a 3-game losing streak, trying to snap that tonight here. Both teams back up to the line.
And Coleman is in the game right now for the Huskies.
First player we're seeing, Jonah Coleman. Not going to give it to him, though. They're going to pass this one to the sideline. And it looks like he'll get the first down. Nice catch and run by the Huskies.
And just like that, Coleman's time is done. Brought in as a decoy to try and entice this UCLA Bruin defense to come up, in which it did. Williams had multiple options there open, and it looks as if they're ruling him just short. It's going to be 4th down and inches, it appears.
4th down and inches. Offense still out there. They're about an inch shy of the 20-yard line of UCLA. Looks like Going to get another timeout here.
Looks like it's going to be an official review, actually, from the refs on here. It looked as if he got it from up here. Again, it's going to be close like that previous call. If it's too close to call, you go with the call on the field. And right now, the call on the field is a 4th and short. Now, Washington's already converted on a 4th and short, which was the other controversial call, where it appeared maybe he was short, maybe he wasn't. Looked like he got it. But where UCLA actually picked him up and gave him the first down. They were able to get back behind the line of scrimmage, yet spun him, and he was able to get the first down. We'll see what happens here if this call stands. You wonder, do you allow your short quarterback to do somewhat of a Philly special, QB sneak? You've seen that all around football at all levels.
I mean, now at this point, it's kind of evolved, right? We're seeing direct snaps, lining up in a Philly special tush-push sort of position, and then direct snaps to the tight end, and I think the Ravens did that with Mark Andrews, so now we're getting some variations on the play.
You can run so many different things, and speaking of the Ravens, they were able to put Lamar Jackson at running back, all the jokes there, right? And actually pitch it to him for a first down. We'll see if Washington decides to do something a little trickery like that here as we get the call on the field.
Looks like the ruling on the field is going to be upheld. They're going to rule him short of the line to gain, and that's going to bring up 4th and, maybe even centimeters. It's that close.
It's a close one for sure. Watch for the Huskies to get on the line quick here.
Clock is running. 7 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here until halftime. Williams lines up under center.
The I formation here.
They're going to pitch it back. Breaking towards the sideline. He's got the first down and pushed out of bounds after a gain of almost 10.
Yeah, what a play there. Motion your running back into the backfield. Jordan Washington. Move Muhammad up as a fullback in the I formation. And then give it a little pitch out to Washington, who's able to use his speed, turn the corner, get a first down and a couple extra yards. Now setting it 1st and goal for the Washington Huskies.
First rush of the game for Washington. Had a great game last week. 5 rushing attempts, 108 yards, and a touchdown against Purdue. Again, they're going to do it with the running back, pushing it up. They'll get this one to about the 4-yard line, the rush by Mohammed. And they're dangerously close to that end zone.
Yeah, solid gain of a couple right there. Look for them to keep it on the ground here. Don't want to try anything too cute. They've been dominating the line of scrimmage here in this second quarter. It wasn't in the first, but here in the second quarter, this offensive line has really gotten their second wind. Now setting it up 2nd and goal from about the 5-yard line.
6 minutes to go here. Looks like they're going to toss it to the corner of the end zone. Going to be incomplete. Good defense by the Bruins, not letting that corner end zone route come to fruition.
Yeah, just right outside of the outstretched arms of number 81, Desmond Roebuck. Tried him on the fade route once again. He was able to get a hand on it. Would have been an insane catch if he was able to come down with it. But it's not. Now 3rd and 5 here for the Washington Huskies as they come out in an empty set.
Williams Jr. directing some traffic at the line.
Coleman is in the game for the Huskies, is now in the backfield.
The snap a little bit low, fumbles out of the way, able to recover towards the end zone, not going to be completed. Boy, what a rush that last play was.
What a crazy series of events. Like we said, Washington has had a struggle with the snaps these past couple of games. The snap goes right through his legs. Williams is still able to get on the ball, and he had an open receiver. Was fading back, a little bit of a fade route, and just missed him, forcing the field goal. If you are UCLA, that is a huge, break as they had a receiver wide open in the end zone.
It'll be the field goal unit on for Washington. Grady Gross puts this one up. And that's going to be good. Washington dangerously close to scoring, but the Bruins come up with some defense and a little bit of luck there on the fumbled snap by Williams Jr. Snap just came out low, kind of skidded on the ground in front of him. Did a good job of recovering, getting back on that ball, and even had a shot at making a play, but some good defense and some luck by the Bruins.
Yeah, just an insane last play right there. This has been a fun game to watch for sure. A lot of miscues, which kind of makes it for an uglier game if you're watching this from a coach's standpoint. But from a fan standpoint, we've had some fireworks early right now and some crazy plays, crazy fumbles. But we will keep an eye on those snaps for Washington, which has now costed them possibly a touchdown.
After the kick by Gross, the score now 13-0. 5 minutes, 46 seconds left to go until halftime. Huskies getting set to kick things off to UCLA. What would a score be here for UCLA?
Yeah, if you're UCLA, you want to come out and run a lot of this clock down. There's 5 minutes to go. You do not want to allow Washington to touch this ball again this half if you can. Keep this ball on the ground, control it, and allow Nico to settle into this game because he still hasn't settled in.
They're going to take the ball out of the end zone, making some men miss. Good return. They'll bring this out to the 25-yard line. Nice return by the Bruins.
Yeah, this return will set them up at around the 28-yard line for this offensive possession. And like I said, it is a miracle that it is only 13-0 right now. Very well could be a 21-0 or even 28-0 ball game. Williams just missed those deep throws, which has really cost the Huskies, forcing it to only be a 13-0 game. With the mistakes that UCLA's offense have made, putting the ball on the ground twice, they are lucky that they are still in this game.
Quick snap here to Nico. Going to take it himself after rolling. This time a slide, making sure he gets down. Good gain of about 7 yards on the play.
You love to see that he's learned to slide with his legs and not with his head. Keeping himself safe and available for the rest of this game. I don't hate the play call there. Get Nico rolling out a little bit. Give him some confidence. Let him settle in. And we'll see if these double moves start to become a factor here.
2nd and 5. 5 minutes left to go here. Nico just going to hand this one off. That'll push it out for about 3 yards on the ground and bring up 3rd down for the Bruins.
Yeah, a nice little patient run out of Woods, waiting for his blockers, is able to get a nice little sidestep in there and then just hit the gap. And when you don't see much daylight as a running back, you just got to put your head down and get as much as you can, and that's exactly what Woods did there, setting up a 3rd and short for the Bruins.
Bruins trying to avoid giving up the ball with 4 minutes, 25 to go here. 3rd down. Iamaliava going to hand it off, and that's going to get disrupted behind the line of scrimmage. Nico kept it, faked the handoff. That's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, we've seen Nico keep the ball when he probably shouldn't have. That edge defender did crash, but Washington is not fooled. I don't love the play call there on 3rd and short. So now it's going to be 4th and short, bringing out the punting unit.
Nico walked off a little bit slow, not anything too crazy, just could be a little bit worrisome, not sure, but he looks to be okay on the sideline.
Yeah, seems to just be a little bit sad about that play.
The punt is up. Going to get corralled in at the 25-yard line. Washington going to bring that one up just shy of the 40.
Yeah, hard hit. You could hear that hit all the way from up here, but the hit wasn't on the receiver. It was on a friendly fire from the 2 UCLA defenders running down there.
Husky offense quick to get back onto the field. Only 3 minutes, 20 seconds left until the half. And I mean, a score here would just be huge for their lead.
Yet again, if they're able to hold them to a field goal, still a 2-possession game, 16-0. But UCLA's defense has played well up to this point. Second quarter has been a little bit rougher for them as Williams is starting to settle in a little bit. But we'll see what they're able to do here and if they're able to get a 3 and out.
So far, Williams 8 for 14, 55 yards passing. Stands in the pocket, delivers this one, and that's going to be intercepted. UCLA on the return at the 30 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line of the Huskies. First play of the drive for Washington. Interception, and the Bruins back with the ball.
Huge play from Cole Martin, number 21 for the Bruins. Looked like the pass was behind the receiver for Washington. Williams, again, not setting his feet, rushing the throw. He had an open receiver and just missed the throw. Missed him over top. Cole Martin was not fooled. And the Bruin defense has given UCLA some life here with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. The crowd is coming alive.
Huge momentum shift for the Bruins. Offense back out on the field. That's Cole Martin's first interception of the season for the sophomore safety. Nico gonna flick it. A little reversal here, and that's gonna get kind of disrupted. Didn't get much of a gain there. They'll be lucky to get it back out to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job by the Washington linebackers who were not fooled, able to keep the edge, use the sideline as their friend and force them out of bounds. Don't love the play call there, a little bit too cute for my liking. You just had a terrific play on defense that allowed you to be on the 24-yard line of Washington. I'd like to see them get a couple yards here, get some confidence back in Nico, who just got stuffed. But now they're going to come out in an empty formation here.
Nico throwing the ball while hit. That one incomplete. Was trying to complete it to his tight end over the middle. That was Habermill. Just got hit while he threw that. Couldn't complete it. That's going to bring up a big 3rd and 9.
Yeah, just immediate penetration out of the defensive end, Zach Durfree, who was able to beat his offensive lineman, get in the backfield, and force Nico. It's a miracle that Nico got the ball out, able to feel the pressure. Almost got it to receiver, but now it's going to be 3rd and long for the Bruins.
Yeah, close play there by the senior defensive end, Durfee. Nico throwing that one complete. And it looks like it's going to be a first down, but there is a flag over on the far end of the field. If the play stands, it looks like it will be a first down.
Could be a legal formation here out of the Bruins.
The pass was complete to Mokiao Atimalala. So we await the call here from the official. It looks like you were right. Illegal formation on the Bruins. That's going to push them back, force them to replay 3rd down and take away that first down catch.
Yeah, you see that flag coming out early. Didn't see any jumps. So, you know it's in the territory of an illegal formation. Terrible, terrible break for the Bruins. Illegal formation, that's just a discipline issue. You need to check in with the sideline refs to see if you're on the line of scrimmage, if you're off the line of scrimmage. Need to check. Lack of discipline is what is exactly why they are down 13-0 right now in the second quarter.
Only the second penalty on the Bruins just came at a very, very bad time. That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Shane, what do you look for UCLA to do on this tough position, 3rd and long?
Yeah, look for Washington to bring some pressure here. Nico just has to be able to stand in the pocket, take the hit, and deliver the throw. Look for that double move. Look for something coming across. Have a check down on a drag route, but don't be afraid to give one of your receivers a chance to go against these DBs. Throw that ball up and give them a chance. We'll see what they're able to do here, but always have an outlet as a offensive coordinator for your quarterback. Just a terrible break, though. Nico was able to stand in that pocket, untouched on that 3rd down and 10, 3rd down and long, when Washington brought pressure and find his open receiver. Looked like the confidence that they needed, but that illegal formation, that lack of discipline, forces it now to be 3rd and 14.
We'll see what Jerry Neuheisel, the offensive coordinator, can cook up for the Bruins in his first season as play caller. Bruins led by head coach Tim Skipper, promoted from the linebacker coach position, currently serving as the interim head coach.
Yeah, and Skipper's done a terrific job up to this point in the season. Was able to rattle off a few fun wins for the Bruin fan base. Couple of tough losses as of late, but we'll see if they're able to bounce back here against Washington. Now, if you are UCLA, maybe get back to around 4th and 5. You got to take the points here. Going into halftime with any points on the board is going to be a confidence builder. So no matter what, UCLA must come away with points here. And to make it a little bit of an easier field goal for Mateen, you want to look to pick up at least 5 here on 3rd and long.
Bruins hoping to get at least 3, like you mentioned. Hopefully can come up with more. Since the parting ways of Deshaun Foster and this new coaching staff coming into fruition for UCLA, they've been at 500 up to this point. 3 wins to start out, starting with Penn State, then Michigan State, and then Maryland, then losing to Indiana, Nebraska, and then Ohio State. 3-3 so far, trying to make it 4-3.
I probably should mention that 2 of those losses were against the number 1 and 2 team in the country. So something to keep in mind there. But like I said, Skipper has done a terrific job taking over for the Bruins as the head coach here in this season. You wonder if he's going to be able to stay with them long term. What the UCLA's decision will be on that, we will find out this offseason. But now we set up for a 3rd and long here. Big play for the Bruins.
3rd and long, they'll motion Matthews, the motion him back. Nico surveys the field, fires. That one kind of just sailed his receiver there.
Yeah, some miscommunication there. Looked as if Nico thought that he was going to be going upfield a little bit farther. Receiver broke it off. And going to bring out the field goal unit for the Bruins. Mateen here attempting the field goal.
4th and 14. Mateen Bagani's longest of the season has been 54. He's 15 for 19 so far.
46-yarder here.
It looks like they're going to fake it. They're going to flip it back and just couldn't come up with it. It looks like it's the Huskies' ball, and he's heading towards the end zone at the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown Washington on the miscue on the trick play.
I am just astonished. What did we just watch? UCLA running a fake field goal on 4th and 14. 4th and 14, the pitch to Mateen. It's a bad pitch. Mateen just could not get a hold of the ball. And it's returned 50-plus yards for the touchdown for Washington. If I'm UCLA, that is not a call you want to be making right now. You are in this game. Your defense is playing amazing. Why are you running a fake field goal on 4th and long?
The kick is good on the extra point. That'll push the Washington lead 20-0. Just a miscue from the Bruins. They snapped that ball back to the holder, and instead of running up and kicking the ball, they had Bagani kind of run behind the holder, and they tried to flip it back to him. The flip just, it's a hard thing to do. The flip just wasn't accurate. Ended up slipping away. Washington recovered and took it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown.
That's a play that you ask your head coach time and time again as a kicker and a holder. Please, coach, please let us run this. And let me tell you, this is not the situation to run it in. UCLA needs to score now with 1:44 and 3 timeouts if they want to stay in this game. That is a huge, huge game-defining play. Even if Mateen does catch that, let's say he catches it. Don't get me wrong, Mateen is an athlete. Well, let me tell you, he's not running 14 yards. And I didn't see anyone open down the field whatsoever. Washington was not fooled. That is not the play call that you want to make there. And Tim Skipper's going to be answering a lot of questions about that at the end of the game.
1 minute, 44 seconds left to go. Now down 0-20. Here's the kick from Washington. They'll let that bounce out for a touchback. UCLA needs to do something now on offense after that unfortunate turn of events on special teams.
Just a very questionable call on special teams. It's put your team in a very, very dire situation now where you're down 20-0 against a very, very good team where you were keeping it close. 2-possession game. 13-0. Sounds a lot better than 20-0.
Interestingly, the fumble will go to Cash Peterman, the holder.
It is senior night. Maybe trying to get him a little bit of a pizzazz play for one of his final games. But that is a play that you cannot have happen if you are UCLA.
Whistles on the play here. It's going to be a timeout. Charge to Washington. Shane, if you're UCLA, I mean, what can you do in this position? Are you going to try to throw the ball? What do you think?
Right now, the worst thing you can do is, again, give the ball back to Washington. They still got a timeout, minute 44. Worst thing you can do is go 3 and out right here. You got to start on the ground, little screen pass, something, gain a couple yards, run a little bit of clock, then you try for that big play. But you cannot hand Washington the ball back with a minute 20 left on this clock. We'll see what UCLA is able to do here, but what would have been a 13-3 game, only a 10-point game, has now swung completely in the opposite direction. It is now a 20-point game, all because of one call. A very questionable one at that.
1st and 10, ball at the 25. Nico fires this one. That's complete. 5 yards on the pass. Good job getting that completion through the air.
Yeah, great play by Gilmer to get out of bounds there. He's able to turn outside and just get his hand barely on the chalk to stop that clock. Now with a minute and 39 left in the game on 2nd and 5. Oh, and a half, excuse me.
From the 30, Nico over the middle, complete, but a big hit on Gilmer. Looks like he held on to the ball, though. But boy, did he take a hit.
Yeah, that one he's going to feel tomorrow morning when he wakes up, but just a terrific play. Able to pick up the first down, set UCLA up here, 1st and 10 on their own 40.
Gilmer still in. Nico again feels the pressure behind him, evades the sack, spinning out of it. Going to dump this one off. That's going to look like a gain of about 1, maybe 2, but Nico felt the pressure behind him. Could have been a blindside sack, but did a good job of feeling that and spinning out.
Yeah, just a terrific play from Nico. Houdini-like play to be able to roll out of that, felt that pressure, was able to step back, roll out to his right or left, and deliver a pass for a modest gain of 1 yard. Now it's 2nd and 1, or 2nd and 9, excuse me.
2nd and 9, Nico standing in the pocket, moving out towards his right, fires this one down the field, just going to throw that one out of bounds. Couldn't find anybody open.
Yeah, great catch there on the sideline by a Washington player, actually. One of the backups celebrating right now with the ball that he just caught from Nico. But yeah, Nico flushed out of the pocket, looking downfield. Literally 4 defenders on Gilmer down the field. Nothing open, forced to throw it out of bounds. And a Washington backup player made a terrific play to go up and climb the ladder and catch the ball. So now it's going to be 3rd and 9, though. Big play here for the Bruins.
1 minute, 11 left to go. Iamaliava has some time. This one's short. Complete. Able to bounce that one for about 5, maybe 6 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and 4.
Hudson Hambermel was able to make a man miss, almost tripped up, a little slow to get up. Washington takes a timeout with 1 minute and 2 left. You wonder, will UCLA try and go for this, or will they give them an opportunity to go and score? At this point, if it was only a 2-possession game, I would have said punt it. But they're, like I said, you're inside the 45s. You're in the middle of the field. 4th and manageable. Like I said, the word manageable might not be exactly the word you want to use here, but 4th and 4-ish, 5-ish. It's going to be a big play call here as the offense stays out there. If Washington's able to get this ball back, go up by 4 scores, might be night-night for the Bruins early here in Westwood. Well, Pasadena, actually.
Tough game, but you got to do what you got to do when you're down 20 in the first half. 1 minute and 2 seconds left. If they can't convert, they'll give Washington the ball with just under a minute to go. Iamaleava dropping back, feeling pressure again, spins out on his feet and gonna slip and fall. Looks like he fumbled. That one came out. There's flags on the play. Washington able to take that one down just past the 15 after the slip and fumble by Nico, but there are flags on the play.
Nico just trying to do too much here. There's a late flag also on the field, 2 flags. We'll see what the calls here on the field are. Looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on that second one. That's an area of that. Don't know if it's on UCLA or Washington.
Looks like a defensive holding call. And boy, is that going to benefit the Bruins.
What a big play. What a big call on 4th and 5, which is now going to give them a first down. Yeah, Nico running for his life back there, trying to do too much, which ultimately led to the fumble recovery for Washington. But all that nullified because of a defensive holding, which is now going to give the Bruins a fresh breath of new life here with 51 seconds left to go now in Washington territory. If UCLA is able to put points up on the board, field goal won't do you too much. Still a 3-possession game. UCLA needs to be pushing for the end zone here as they are down 20.
Bruins able to catch a break there. Would have been Nico's second fumble of the game. And I mean, he's been feeling the pressure on this drive basically every single snap.
He really has. You got to allow your playmakers to make plays, but get this ball out quick.
Nico stepping up, fires this one down the field, and just off of the outstretched hands of his receiver. Would have been a gain of about 20, 25. And they're lucky that one also wasn't picked off.
Very lucky as it was off the hands of Mikey Matthews. If it hits your hands of a receiver, even though Nico threw the ball a little high, you got to make that catch, got to make that play. Nobody within 10 yards of him. Only one defender between him and the end zone. Could have made a man miss. But now it's going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Bruins.
Iamaleava just going to hand it off here. Looks like it's Woods. Makes a man miss up the middle. Going to be a flag on the play after a gain of 4.
Yep, looks like it's going to be a holding call. Possible face mask, wasn't able to see, but most likely a holding call here on UCLA. Another miscue. Yep, it is a holding call. These miscues, these mistakes, this lack of discipline out of the Bruins is the exact reason why they are down by 20 points here. This was a close game. They are not playing terrible against a very formidable team. Washington has played a clean game. We're able to catch a break, actually, the Bruins were, with that defensive holding call on 4th and 5. But now 2nd and 20 for the Bruins.
And it looks like they're going to take their first timeout of the half here with 40 seconds remaining. So far on the night, 3 penalties on UCLA. It's cost them 30 yards. Washington have committed 2. It's only cost them 15.
Yeah, this is not winning football if you are the UCLA Bruins. You need to be able to take advantage of what Washington's given you. They gave you fresh set of downs in their own territory. And now what was a 1st and 10 is now a 2nd and 20 from multiple miscues out of this UCLA team.
Both of these quarterbacks, when you look at the numbers, are playing relatively similar. Nico, 13 for 20, 51 yards through the air. Williams Jr., 8 for 15, 55 yards. Except Williams Jr. has an interception. Nico has a fumble. And then even with their legs, Nico 31 yards. Williams Jr. 24 with a touchdown. Nico firing from a crowded pocket way over the head of his intended receiver.
A lot of overthrows today from both quarterbacks. Nico stepping up in the pocket. Had a receiver downfield. Missed him high. Now sending down 3rd and long. And if you're the UCLA Bruins, you put this one on the ground, run out some clock, and you go into halftime. Squandered what could have been a terrific opportunity to bring the score back within 13 or 17 points. But now it looks as if the Bruins will go into the halftime down 20-0.
3rd and long here. 3rd and 20. Short pass. Able to break this one out towards the 50 and out of bounds at the 45. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. But that's going to bring up a 4th and about 10. Don't look to be in field goal range. We'll see what they do here.
Yep, here comes the punting unit for the Bruins, squandering what could have been a big opportunity for them. Now your goal is just to pin them back. Don't allow a big return here that would spark another score possibly for Washington. We'll see what UCLA is able to do here with this punt.
That last play only good for 7 yards. It was a short pass to the running back Woods. Punt is up, sailing back towards the 5 and going to be brought in a couple yards ahead of the 5.
Yeah, great punt there, right inside the 5-yard line. Washington should most likely come out, take a knee, take this into half, happy that they're up 20 with the way they have played. Haven't made too many mistakes, but haven't played terrifically well. A lot of miscues from the quarterback, Williams, who has missed open receivers downfield by not setting his feet. But just the mistakes out of UCLA, and specifically that questionable call running the fake field goal on 4th and 14 has now made this game 20-0 going into half.
Williams Jr. lines up. Takes the snap. Looks like they're just going to hand this one off. Get the clock rolling. A short rush by Mohammed. Not going to get any gain there, but clock now at 10 seconds. Looks like they'll just let this one run off into half. Your score at the half, 20 Washington, 0 for the home UCLA Bruins. Shane, what do you make of that half so far?
Yeah, obviously, like I've already said, the Bruins had a lot of opportunities in this game and have just squandered them away. Washington has not played exceptionally well tonight and has allowed UCLA to stay in this game. This game should be 35-0, but UCLA has been lucky on a couple things. We'll see how this UCLA team is able to respond coming out of half. It is only a 3-possession game, right? It's only 20-0, okay? If you're a UCLA Bruins fan, if you are a UCLA coach, if you're a UCLA player, your message to this team right now is coming out of half and getting a score. That's exactly what they need to do to get back in this game. This game is not out of reach whatsoever, but they need to be able to control that line of scrimmage. And now Nico's going to be forced to pass the ball a lot more probably than Skipper would have wanted.
Yeah, and you know what I always think? I mean, if they can score 20 in the first half, why can't we in the second? So we'll see what they do coming out of the half. My name is David Matamoroz, joined by Shane Donovan. We'll see you after half.